My friends, listen to me. Too many of you are exhausted. Too many of you are carrying the weight of relationships, friendships, and situationships where your kindness is taken for granted, and yet you keep giving, you keep excusing, you keep hoping. But tonight, I'm here to tell you, stop being nice to men. I know that sounds radical. I know it shakes the foundation of everything you were taught. Be kind, be gentle, be understanding. They told you it was the way to love, but what they didn't tell you is that there is a difference between kindness and servitude. And too many of you are out here serving men who do not respect you. You see, some of you think that if you are just a little bit more patient, a little bit more accommodating, a little bit more nice, then he will change. He will see your worth. He will finally treat you the way you deserve. But let me ask you, how much longer will you wait? How much more will you give before you realize that your kindness is not being honored but exploited? Ladies, hear me tonight. Men do not respect what they do not have to work for. If your love, your time, your forgiveness, and your loyalty are given without cost, they will be taken without appreciation. Some of you are afraid to say no because you fear losing him. But I tell you this, if you must shrink yourself to keep a man, then you have already lost. It is time to stop mistaking tolerance for love. It is time to stop being nice at the expense of your own peace. It is time to set the boundaries that demand respect, because true love, real, honest, godly love, does not ask you to be silent in your suffering. It does not ask you to sacrifice your dignity in the name of patience. So tonight, I am asking you, no, I am begging you, stop being nice to men who do not deserve it. Love yourself enough to walk away from anyone who treats your kindness as weakness. And when you do, you will find that the right people, the ones who are worthy of your heart, will meet you at the level of respect you demand. Let tonight be the night you make the decision. Let tonight be the night you reclaim your worth. And when you do, my friends, you will finally see the difference between being nice and being valued. The burden of niceness is a weight that many women carry without even realizing it. It begins early, ingrained in childhood, when they are told to be polite, to smile, to accommodate, to make others feel comfortable, even at their own expense. It continues into adulthood, manifesting in relationships where they give endlessly, hoping that their kindness will be enough to earn love, respect, and commitment. But too often, this endless giving is met with indifference, entitlement, or even mistreatment. Women are told that if they just hold on a little longer, if they just understand him a little more, if they just don't nag, don't complain, don't push too hard, then everything will eventually fall into place. And so they wait. They give second chances. They forgive things that should never be forgiven. They excuse behavior that deep down they know is wrong. All in the name of being nice. The problem is that niceness, when given without limits, becomes a silent invitation for mistreatment. When a man realizes that no matter how little he gives, she will still be there, still loving, still supporting, still sacrificing, he has no reason to change. He has no reason to do better. He has no reason to value what is so freely given to him. Women carry the weight of maintaining relationships, managing emotions, soothing egos, and making life easier for men who put in little effort in return. They stretch themselves thin, pouring out love and patience while receiving inconsistency, half-hearted apologies, and broken promises. The exhaustion that comes with always being the one to hold things together becomes overwhelming, but they are told that this is what love requires. That to be a good woman is to be endlessly patient, endlessly forgiving, endlessly giving. And yet, the truth is that niceness does not create respect. It does not build a foundation of mutual effort. It does not force accountability. Instead, it enables complacency. It teaches men that they can take without giving, that they can wound without consequence, that they can be careless with a woman's heart and still be met with understanding. But understanding without accountability is just self-destruction. It is allowing yourself to be drained bit by bit until there is nothing left. Women must recognize that being too nice is not a virtue when it comes at the cost of self-respect. There is a difference between being kind and being a doormat, between being loving and being a martyr, between standing by someone and standing in your own worth. Niceness should never be a woman's greatest quality in a relationship. Strength should be. Self-respect should be. The ability to walk away when she is not valued should be. Because the truth is, a man who truly cares, a man who is truly worthy, will never demand endless patience without effort, endless love without reciprocation, endless sacrifice without appreciation. And until women stop carrying the burden of always being nice, they will continue to find themselves empty, exhausted, and unfulfilled. Respect and servitude are often mistaken for the same thing, but they could not be more different. Women are told from a young age that being good, being loving, and being desirable means catering to the needs of others, particularly men. They are taught that a good woman is one who is agreeable, accommodating, and selfless. That love is about sacrifice, that patience is a virtue, that standing by a man through all his flaws is a sign of strength. But what they are not told is that there is a fine line between kindness and self-betrayal. Too many women find themselves in relationships, friendships, and even workplaces where they are giving endlessly, not out of true choice, but out of obligation. They believe that if they give more, tolerate more, forgive more, then they will finally be seen, finally be valued, finally be loved in the way they deserve. But servitude is not the price of respect. And a woman who lowers herself, who exhausts herself in the name of being nice, is not earning admiration. She is being taken for granted. A man does not respect what he does not have to work for. If a woman bends over backward to accommodate him, to soften every harsh truth, to accept every broken promise, then he has no reason to change, no reason to appreciate what she brings into his life. He sees her as an extension of his own comfort, not as an individual with her own needs and boundaries. Women find themselves in a cycle where they believe their worth is tied to how much they can endure. They believe that love means standing by a man even when he does not deserve it. That being a good partner means never demanding too much, never questioning too much, never making him uncomfortable. But what they fail to see is that this is not love. This is servitude, and servitude will never bring respect. Respect is earned when boundaries are enforced. It is built when a woman knows her worth and refuses to settle for anything less. A man respects a woman who can walk away. He respects a woman who can demand effort, consistency, and accountability. He respects a woman who does not fear losing him because she values herself first. The moment a woman starts prioritizing her own well-being over the comfort of a man who refuses to do the work, she shifts the power. She is no longer at the mercy of his whims, no longer waiting for him to realize her worth because she already knows it herself. Women must ask themselves, am I being respected? Or am I simply being tolerated? Am I receiving love, or am I just convenient? Am I being valued, or am I just serving? The difference is everything, because respect cannot be begged for. It cannot be earned through endless patience. It cannot be forced through niceness. It comes only when a woman refuses to accept anything less. The power of boundaries is one of the greatest strengths a woman can possess. Yet society has conditioned her to believe that setting limits is unkind, unloving, or even selfish. From childhood, women are taught to be agreeable, to put others' needs before their own, to avoid confrontation in the name of peace. They are made to believe that a good woman is one who is always available, always accommodating, always willing to give another chance. But what they are not told is that without boundaries, they will be used. Without boundaries, they will live their lives bending to the will of others while their own needs remain unmet. A woman without boundaries attracts people who thrive on taking advantage of them. She becomes the one who is always understanding when he disappears for days with no explanation. The one who forgives without accountability, who waits endlessly for a man to give her what he has already shown he will not. She believes that if she just loves harder, if she is just patient enough, things will change. But they never do. Because people do not change when they have no reason to. A man will only rise to the level that a woman requires of him. If there are no consequences for disrespect, then the disrespect will continue. If she keeps showing up, keeps answering the phone, keeps accepting the excuses, then there is no motivation for him to do better. Why would he, when he gets the benefits of her love without the responsibility of respecting it? A woman with strong boundaries, however, is a woman who commands respect. She does not entertain inconsistency. She does not accept half-hearted effort. She does not wait around for a man to decide if he values her. She already knows her worth, and she refuses to waste her energy on anyone who does not recognize it. When a man knows that she will walk away rather than tolerate mistreatment, he has two choices: rise to meet her standards or lose her entirely. And the truth is, a man who truly values her will always choose to step up. But if he does not, then she loses nothing, because she refuses to settle for less. Setting boundaries is not cruelty, it is self-respect. It is saying, I love myself enough not to allow this. It is understanding that saying no is not unkind, that walking away is not a failure, that prioritizing one's own well-being is not selfish. It is a necessary act of self-preservation. The women who struggle the most are the ones who give endlessly, who pour into men who take and take until there is nothing left. But a woman with boundaries, she protects her peace, she protects her heart, and in doing so, she ensures that when she does give, it is to someone who is truly worthy of her. Demanding accountability is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of self-respect. Too many women have been conditioned to believe that holding a man responsible for his actions is synonymous with being difficult, unloving, or even ungrateful. They are taught to be patient, to be understanding, to give him time to grow, to avoid pressuring him. And so they excuse, they justify, they rationalize. They tell themselves that he didn't mean it, that he's just going through a phase, that if they are patient enough, he will change. But change does not come from patience alone. Change comes from accountability. And the hard truth is that men do not change when they are comfortable. They change when they are required to. A man who is never held accountable learns that he can say one thing and do another, that he can break promises without consequence, that he can ignore a woman's needs, neglect her emotions, and still expect her to stay. When there are no real consequences for his behavior, he has no incentive to do better. Women often find themselves in relationships where they are constantly lowering their expectations, making excuses for why he is not showing up in the way he should. He's just not good at expressing his feelings. He's had a rough past. He's not ready for commitment, but maybe one day. But the reality is, a man who truly wants to be better will rise to the occasion, not because a woman tolerates his shortcomings, but because she refuses to. Holding a man accountable means refusing to accept empty words. It means actions must match promises. It means when he disrespects, there are consequences. It means she does not sit quietly and suffer in silence just to keep the peace. Peace that comes at the cost of self-respect is not peace. It is submission. Women must learn to challenge the men in their lives, to stop allowing inconsistency, to stop making it easy for men to remain emotionally irresponsible. If a woman does not demand more, she will not receive more. If she does not set a standard, she will never get what she truly deserves. Many women fear that holding a man accountable will push him away, that if they demand better, he will leave. But if setting a standard makes him walk away, then he was never truly there in the first place. A man who values a woman will not see accountability as an attack, but as an opportunity to grow. He will not run from responsibility. He will embrace it. And if he does not, then that is the clearest sign that she is wasting her time. Because no matter how much love, patience, and understanding she gives, if a man refuses to be held accountable, then he is telling her exactly who he is, and she must believe him. Too many women have been taught to believe that their strength lies in their ability to endure, to compromise, to sacrifice. They have been told that demanding respect makes them difficult, that having standards makes them unreasonable, that expecting effort makes them too much, and so they shrink themselves. They lower their voices. They make themselves easier to love by accepting less than they deserve. But what they do not realize is that when a woman stops demanding respect, she starts accepting disrespect. She creates a reality where a man can do the bare minimum and still receive her time, her love, and her loyalty. She makes it clear that no matter how little effort he puts in, she will still be there. And once a man knows he does not have to work for her respect, he stops valuing it. Respect is not something a woman should have to beg for. It is not something she should have to fight for. It should be the foundation of every relationship she allows in her life. But respect is only given when it is required. A woman who demands respect is a woman who does not tolerate inconsistency, manipulation, or excuses. She does not settle for potential. She does not waste time on men who treat her as an option. She does not let words blind her when actions do not match. And when a man disrespects her, she does not explain why it hurt her. She simply removes herself. Because the moment she starts justifying why she deserves better is the moment she is already losing herself. A man will always treat a woman at the level she allows. If she accepts broken promises, he will keep making them. If she tolerates disrespect, he will keep disrespecting her. If she continues to show up for a man who does not prioritize her, he will never see a reason to change. Women must understand that love is not about endurance. It is not about suffering silently, hoping one day he will wake up and realize her worth. It is about mutual effort, mutual appreciation, mutual respect. And if that is not present, then it is not love. It is convenience. A woman who does not demand respect will be treated like an afterthought. A woman who knows her worth will be treated like a priority. The truth is, a man respects what he has to work for. He values what he fears losing, and he honors what he cannot replace. Women must stop fearing that demanding more will push a man away. If setting a standard makes him leave, then he was never meant to stay. If requiring respect feels like a battle, then the relationship was never built on the right foundation. Women must stop being afraid to walk away, because the right man will never see her standards as a challenge. He will see them as a privilege. And only then will she have the respect she has always deserved. A woman's strength is not measured by how much she can endure, how patient she can be, or how many chances she can give. It is measured by how firmly she stands in her own worth. Too many women believe that if they are just good enough, forgiving enough, understanding enough, they will finally be loved the way they deserve. But the truth is, love that requires you to abandon yourself is not love, it is self-betrayal. And the longer a woman waits, hoping that a man will one day wake up and see her value, the longer she allows herself to be diminished, overlooked, and taken for granted. A woman must learn to stop settling for potential, for empty words, for half-hearted efforts that never amount to real commitment. She must stop trying to prove her worth to a man who does not see it. She must stop pouring love into someone who is unwilling to meet her halfway. Because love should not be a constant struggle for validation. It should not be a test of endurance. It should not be a place where she is constantly questioning whether she is enough. If a man cannot meet her where she is, if he cannot rise to the level of respect and effort she deserves, then he is simply not for her. And she must have the strength to let go. A woman who knows her worth does not beg for attention, for consistency, for basic decency. She does not sit in relationships where she is the only one trying. She does not waste her energy on a man who treats her like an afterthought. Instead, she invests in herself. She focuses on her own growth, her own peace, her own happiness. She builds a life so full, so rich, so fulfilling that she does not need a man to complete her, because she is already whole. And when a woman stands in her own power, she attracts only those who are strong enough to stand beside her. But too many women fear that if they demand better, they will end up alone. That if they stop accepting less, no one will step up to give them more. And so they settle. They stay in relationships that drain them. They hold on to men who are not truly present. They convince themselves that something is better than nothing. But the truth is, there is nothing lonelier than being with someone who does not value you. There is nothing more exhausting than giving your all to someone who only gives you pieces in return. A woman must understand that walking away is not a loss, it is a victory. It is choosing herself over mediocrity. It is refusing to shrink for the comfort of a man who refuses to grow. It is stepping into the life she truly deserves. And when she does, she will see that the love she was begging for was never love at all. True love, real love, begins with the love she gives herself. It is time for women to stop equating love with suffering, patience with endurance, and kindness with self-sacrifice. It is time to stop being nice at the cost of self-respect. A woman's worth is not measured by how much she can tolerate, how much she can forgive, or how much she can endure before a man finally decides to value her. Her worth is inherent. It does not need to be proven, it does not need to be earned, and it certainly does not depend on a man's ability to recognize it. When a woman stops settling for less, she forces the world to meet her at the level she deserves. When she sets boundaries, she protects her heart. When she demands accountability, she commands respect. And when she walks away from anything that does not serve her, she reclaims her power, the love she wants, the life she dreams of, the respect she deserves. It all begins with the moment she chooses herself. So let this be the moment. Let this be the day she stops waiting for a man to change, stops hoping that love will come from suffering, stops believing that being nice will bring her the life she desires. Let this be the moment she stands up, stands firm, and refuses to accept anything less than what she knows she is worth. They will never meet back when they come from their scream. And Let your life be less by never, ever look back